Fall of the Roman Empire. They say the Roman Empire fell, that marble turned to dust, legions vanished, and emperors faded into myth. But history lies through omission. Empires never die, they replace. The rise and fall of the Roman Empire was never ending. It was a transformation. What we call collapse was only a mask, a rebirth in the shadows. Its symbols still whisper from cathedrals, parliaments, and currencies. Its logic still governs how nations rule and how people obey. The history of Rome was never buried, it was rewritten. Rome didn't vanish, it evolved. And tonight we decode how. This isn't history, this is a revelation. Welcome to Dark Decoded X. The lie of collapse. Textbooks claim the fall of Rome happened in 476 AD, a single date, a clean ending. But that's the first illusion. Empires don't fall, they mutate. The rise and fall of the Roman Empire wasn't a collapse, it was a shedding of skin. Its power reassembled under new names, new crowns, and new faiths. Its currency became our economy, its hierarchy became our democracy, its gods became our saints. The story we're told is the story they needed us to believe, because if Rome truly died, who built the world that replaced it? This isn't just a tale. It's a history documentary hidden in plain sight, written not by truth but by survival. The shadow after the flames. As the Western world burned, the East began to glow. From the ashes rose the Byzantine Empire, calling itself the real Rome, the eternal one. Gold replaced marble, but the system was identical. Taxation, trade, control. While the West mourned the fall of Rome, the East perfected its survival. Power hadn't perished, it had relocated. The history of Rome didn't end, it merely changed its address. The empire was no longer visible, but what if that was exactly the point? The empire without a name. In Constantinople, they never called themselves Byzantines. They were Romans. Present tense, living, ruling, enduring. To them, the fall of the Roman Empire was a Western myth, because in the East the empire never ended. It simply adjusted its crown. Its scholars still spoke Latin, its generals still swore by Caesar, its laws still dictated the logic of civilization. The Byzantine Empire wasn't a copy, it was continuity. But continuity for what purpose and under whose design? The church that inherited the throne. When emperors vanished, bishops rose. The Vatican became the new capital, faith replaced force. The history of Rome was baptized in Christianity. The empire traded swords for scripture, but the control remained divine. Every pope became a shadow emperor, every cathedral a fortress of influence. From the ashes of the fall of the Roman Empire, religion rose not to save souls, but to save authority. And what if salvation itself was the empire's most successful conquest? The empire reborn in the West. Centuries later, a king knelt before a pope and was crowned Emperor of the Romans. The Holy Roman Empire, the second act of the same eternal play. The rise and fall of the Roman Empire repeated itself in Europe's reflection. Castles instead of forums, crosses instead of eagles, but the same blood in every institution. Rome had found a way to outlive itself through imitation. And every civilization that rose after it followed the same invisible script, the bloodline of power. The eagles never stopped flying, they just changed their banners. The fall of Rome became a myth, yet its symbols still crown nations, from government seals to global currencies. Latin still speaks through every motto, senators still sit, empires still invade. Rome's system didn't collapse, it was franchised, and the Byzantine Empire was its longest-running subsidiary. But who inherited that blueprint, and where did they take it next? The forgotten East. The Byzantine Empire lasted 1,000 years after the fall. It preserved Greek philosophy, guarded Europe from invaders, and kept ancient knowledge alive. Yet the West erased it from memory, too Eastern, too inconvenient. Because Byzantium held the receipts of history, proof that the history of Rome was edited, not ended. And when knowledge becomes dangerous, history learns how to forget. The hidden architects. When the empire finally fractured, its architects scattered. Senators became nobles, generals became merchants, priests became bankers. They carried the empire's true inheritance, not gold, but governance, its systems of control, debt, hierarchy, and obedience. The rise and fall of the Roman Empire was only the visible part of the cycle. Beneath the surface, Rome was seeding the future. And we are still living inside its design. The empire in the mirror. Look around. Our cities, our laws, our governments, they echo the same design. Democracy became the new republic. Corporations became the new Senate. Presidents became emperors in modern disguise. We don't study the fall of Rome to remember the past. We study it to recognize the present, because the empire didn't vanish. It evolved into us. The empire that breathes. Empires aren't built on land, they're built on belief. Ideas that refuse to die, that's immortality. Rome mastered it first. It was reborn as Christianity, replicated by the Byzantine Empire and rebranded through democracy and capitalism. The rise and fall of the Roman Empire was never about geography. It was about evolution. Power simply learnt to hide behind freedom. So when you walk through your city, look again. The eagles still fly. The empire still rules. Only now it wears your reflection. And that's why this isn't just history, it's a history documentary still unfolding, one where we're not the audience. We're the continuation. You've just decoded another truth buried in plain sight. This is Dark Decoded X, where history documentaries become investigations, where the past doesn't end, it hides, and where every empire leaves a shadow waiting to be seen. If you liked this video, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, and leave a comment to receive all our new Dark Decoded.